Once, a very long time ago, so long ago, it must have been close to the time when the first man and the first woman walked upon the earth. There lived a woman named Manzanaba and her husband, Zinzali. They lived in a traditional home, in a small traditional village. They had many children, and for the most part, they were very happy. They would spend the day working, weaving baskets, tanning hides, hunting and tilling the earth near their home. On occasion, they'd go down to the great ocean and play under the sun in the sand, laughing at the funny crabs they would see scuttling along there, and rejoicing at the way in which the birds would dip and dive in the sea breezes. Zinzali had the heart of an artist and loved to carve. He would fashion beautiful birds out of old tree stumps. With his axe, he could make the most wonderful impala and kudu butts from stone. Their homestead was filled with decorative works by Zinzali the carpenter. But in the evenings, when the family would sit around the fire before going to sleep, they would not be so happy. It was too dark for weaving or carving, and yet too early to go to sleep. "Mama," the children would cry, "Sifunu Nzindaba! We want stories! Tell us some stories! Tell us some stories, Mama!" Manzanaba would think and think, trying to find the stories she could tell her children. But it was of no use. She and Zinzali had no stories to tell. They sought the counsel of their neighbors, but none of them knew any stories. They listened to the wind. Could the wind be trying to tell them a story? No, they heard nothing. There were no stories, no dreams, no magical tales. One day, Zinzali told his wife that she must go in search of stories. He promised to look after the home, to care for the children, to mend and wash, and sweep and clean. If only she would bring back stories for the people. Manzanaba agreed. She kissed her husband and children goodbye, and set off in search of stories. The woman decided to ask every creature she passed if they had stories to share. The first animal she met was Nogwasha, the hare. He was such a trickster, but she thought she'd better ask him all the same. "Nogwasha, do you have any stories? My people are hungry for tales." "Stories? Why," shrieked Nogwasha, "why, I have hundreds, thousands, no, millions of..." Oh, please, Nogwasha," begged Manzanaba, "give some to me that we might be happy." Nogwasha said, "Well, I have no time for stories now. Can't you see that I'm terribly busy? Stories in the daytime, indeed." And Nogwasha hopped quickly away. Silly Nogwasha. He was lying. He didn't have any stories. With a sigh, Manzanaba continued on her way. The next one she came upon was Mother Baboon with her babies. "Oh, Bene," she called. "I see you are a mother also. Now children are crying for stories. Do you have any stories that I can bring back to them?" "Stories?" laughed the baboon. "Do I look like I have time to tell stories? How, with so much work to do to keep my children fed and safe and warm, do you think I have time for stories? I'm glad that I do not have human children who cry for such silly things." Manzanaba continued on her way. She then saw an owl in a wild fig tree. "Oh, Quova," she called. "Please, will you help me? I'm looking for stories. Do you have any stories you could give me to take back to my home?" Well, the owl was most protruded, having been woken from her sleep. "Who is making noise in my ears?" she hooted. What is this disruption? What do you want? Stories? You dare wake me for stories? How rude!" And with that, the owl flew off to another tree and perched much higher, where she believed she would be left in peace. Soon she was sound asleep again, and Manzanaba went sadly on her way. Next, she came upon an elephant. "Oh, kind Nindulobu," she asked, do you know where I might find some stories? My people are hungry for some tales. We do not have any." Now, the elephant was a kind animal. He saw the look in the woman's eye and felt immediately sorry for her.
"Dear woman," he said, "I do not know of any stories, but I do know the eagle. He's king of the birds and flies much higher than all the rest. Do you think that he might know you could find some stories?"
"Niguaya bud Nodulu," she said. "Thank you very much." So Manzanaba began to search for Nikwazi, the great fish eagle. She found him near the mouth of the Tugela River. Excitedly, she ran toward him. She called out to him as he was swooping down from the sky, talons outstretched to grab fish from the river. "Nikwazi! Nikwazi!" she called. She so startled the eagle that he dropped the fish that had been his. He circled around and landed on the shore near the woman.
"How?"
he barked at her.
"What is so important that you caused me to lose my supper?"
"Oh, great and wise Nikwazi," began Manzandaba. Now, Fish Eagle is very vain. He liked hearing the woman refer to him, and great and wise. He puffed out his feathers as he spoke. "Nikwazi, my people are hungry for stories. I've been searching a long time now for tales to bring back to them. Do you know where I might find such tales?" She gave him a great look of desperation.
"Well,"
he said, "even though I am quite wise, I do not know everything. I only know of the things that are here on the face of the earth. But there is one who knows even the secrets of the deep, dark ocean. Perhaps he could help you. I will try and call him for you. Stay here and wait for me." So Manzandaba waited several days for a friend, the Fish Eagle, to return. Finally, he came back to her. "Sawubona Nikwaziakas," he called. "I have returned, and I am successful, my friend. Ufudu Iwasawanda, the big sea turtle, has agreed to take you to a place where you can find stories." And with that, the great sea turtle lifted himself out of the ocean. "Woza Nikwazikazai," said the sea turtle in his deep voice.
"Climb onto my back and hold onto my shell. I will carry you to the land of the spirit people."
So the woman took hold of his shell, and down they went into the depths of the sea. The woman was quite amazed. She'd never seen such beautiful things before in her life. Finally, they came to the bottom of the ocean. The spirit people dwell. The sea turtle took her straight to the thrones of the king and queen. They were so regal. Manzandaba was a bit afraid at first to look at them. She bowed down before them. "What do you wish of us, woman from the dry land?" they asked. So Manzandaba told them of her desire to bring stories to her people. "Do you have stories that I could take to them?" she asked rather shyly. "Yes," they said. "We have many stories, but what will you give us in exchange for those stories, Manzandaba?" "What do you desire?" Manzandaba asked. "What we would really like," they said, "is a picture of your home and your people. We can never go to the dry land, but it would be so nice to see that place. Can you bring us a picture, Manzandaba?" "Oh yes," she answered. "I can do that. Thank you, thank you." So Manzandaba climbed back onto the turtle's shell, and he took her back to the shore. She thanked him profusely and asked him to return with the next round moon, to collect her and the picture. The woman told her family all